नाउ प्लीज स्टार्ट मैम।
तो ऐसे कर लूं मैं?
ये ठीक है मैम, कर सकते हो आप ऐसे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
ठीक। अगर सर इस टाइम में मैं इसको स्लाइड शो करूंगी तो ये बंद हो जाएगा ना, खत्म हो जाएगा व्यू?
यस मैम, फिर आपको स्टूडेंट नहीं दिखाई देंगे मैम।
ठीक है, स्टूडेंट्स वैसे मुझे अभी भी नहीं, एक दो ही दिखाई दे रहे हैं, ज्यादा नहीं दिखाई दे रहे।
इससे ये पता लग जाएगा मैम कि आप अवेलेबल हो।
ठीक है, चलिए सर, ठीक ठीक। तो मैं स्टार्ट करने लगी सर अपना लेक्चर ना।
जी मैम।
सो गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स।
Good morning.
Good morning. Yesterday we did methods of teaching English. So 2 methods were left yesterday. So today I'll start with structural situational approach. This is again an approach. What's the difference between a method and an approach? You know, method approach, we can use any method in approach. Yesterday we did that what is method. So we can use any method in an approach. So this is structural situational approach. So what are structures? Structures means the order in which words are arranged in a sentence. When you get a meaningful sentence, that is called a structure. That makes any sense. These are called structures. And what is structural approach? Structural approach is not a method in the strict sense of the term. It is an approach, a technique, and a device which can be used to put into practice any method successfully. I have just said in approach you can use any method. Sorry. So in method we do how to teach, but in approach we do what to teach. We are more concerned about the content rather than the methodology. So in the words of Menon and Patel, structural approach means it is based on the belief that in the learning of a foreign language, mastery of structures is more important than the acquisition of vocabulary. So he says that master of structures, structures means sentences. That's structure, mastery of sentences are more important than the vocabulary, because if you know a lot of words, like you have very good vocabulary, but you are not able to speak English. Yesterday also I said if you cram whole of the dictionary, but even then you cannot speak English. So it is very important that you should use those words in sentences. Then only you can use those words. Otherwise you don't know where to use and when to use and how to use. So structural approach means that we teach with the help of sentences. There's one more definition. It is not proper and correct to call the structural approach a method. Rather, it is an approach and any method can be used. Now, what are the objectives of structural approach? So, number one is to lay the foundation of English by establishing through drill and repetition about 275 graded structures. Here they say that if you teach 275 graded structures means the sentences according to their difficulty level, according to the from simple to complex. And if you teach students 275 structures and 3000 root words, then they are able to speak English, they can use English. That is the objective of this approach. Because in after World War, they tried this method because the people from different origin have come together, and then they tried this method with 275 graded sentences and 3000 root words. They are able to speak sentences. So they say if you teach this much to the students, they can at least they can express themselves a little bit. Then to correlate the teaching of grammar and composition, then another objective of structural approach is to teaching of grammar and composition, that there is no need to teach separate grammar. They just correlate. As I say that if I say he plays and they play, so by use they come to know. They don't know any rules of grammar, but they can correlate that it is with they, we use this and he with first person. Then principles. What are the principles forming language habits? The very first principle of structural approach is to give enough practice to the students that they become a habit on their part. Like you speak your Hindi, you speak your mother tongue. Similarly, if you give lot of practice to them, it should become habit on the student's part. They can speak fluently. Importance of speech, too much emphasis on oral aspect. They said give them practice orally, and then importance of pupils activity. Rather than giving lecture, there should be activity so that they should get an opportunity to speak with each other. Principle of oral work is there, and English language has its own grammar. So it is again, no rules of grammar should be taught. Rather, they should get it by use. So these are characteristics or chief features of structural approach. Number one is word order. They say that word order is very important. Look at these examples. If I say fish eat, it means that fish eat. But if I change the order, it becomes eat fish. The meaning has entirely changed. Are you getting my point? If fish eat, fish khati hai, and eat fish, it means please eat fish, aap fish khao. So kitna farak hai order se? So the man killed the deer killed the man. So it is with the word order is very important in structures. Then presence of function words. What are function words? These are structural words like you can say shall, have, has, auxiliary verbs. I kill the snake. I shall kill the snake. Now look at this. I have just put a functional word shall and it is changing the whole meaning. I shall kill the snake, that it is in future I am going to do this thing. I have killed the snake, that I have just killed it. So it is only with the functional word the sense is changing. I have to kill the snake, that it is my obligation that I have to kill. I can kill, I can kill. So it is with the functional words like shall, have, might, can, we can change the meaning of the structures. Then we have inflections. Inflections are basically that we use in the end of the word. Like I play, he plays, S is the inflection, I am playing, ing, and I played. Look at these all changes. It changes the sense of time. I plays, that it is my hobby. I am playing. Right now I am doing it. I played, that in the past I played. Now I don't play. So it is with the inflections we change the sense. Like one boy, two boys. We have to put with two s in the end. This is inflection. So adjectives also great, greater, greatest, to know the degree of this thing. Then in adverbs, great, greatly. So these are all called inflection, and these are also very important. Then we have types of, anything you want to ask? I can see you लाल जी दिखाई दे रहे हैं, मुझे संदीप दिखाई दे रहे हैं, यामिनी का सिर्फ फोटो दिखाई दे रहा है. I can't see her. So anything you want to ask? समझ आ रहा है आपको? Are you getting यामिनी? Good morning यामिनी. तो ठीक है, अब है टाइप्स ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर्स. हमारे पास 4 टाइप्स के स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं. We have 4 types of structures. Number 1 is sentence patterns, simple sentences that we use like he plays, good boy. Then we have formulas. Formulas are a group of words used regularly on certain occasions. These are fixed. Formulas like good morning, how are you, I am fine, thank you, good evening, because good morning we are supposed to say only in the morning. You can't say in the evening. These are formulas. And then we have phrase patterns. Phrase patterns like in the corner, on the desk, over the hill. You have to use in the only if it is corner. So these are called phrases. And last one is idioms. Idioms, group of words that might be taught as a whole. You can't teach them like a separate words. It makes sense only if it is taught as a whole, like tit for tat, a bitter pill. These are idioms. So these are 4 types of structures we use. Then comes your situational teaching. That was structural approach. Structural approach is basically, I'm just repeating this thing. You have to teach with the help of sentences. We don't teach words and meanings here. Whatever you want to teach, we teach with the help of structures. And there are 3,000 root words and 275 graded structures. If we teach 275 sentences, those are containing 3,000 words. It is said that they can have mastery over the not mastery over the language, but at least they can use that language to express themselves. So it's one part is situational teaching. This structural approach ka hi part hai, that is situational teaching. But sometimes separate question comes on situational teaching. So situational teaching, what is situational teaching? You know, you proper situations are created with the help of objects, models, flashcards, actions, and gestures and blackboard writings. These are basically, you can say, audio-visual aids, or if you narrate a story, these are called situations. I'll just explain you. Then next is selection. Effective teaching demands careful selection of structures. Careful structure. What are these careful selection? Number one is we see usefulness. We take those structures first that are more useful for the students. While selecting and grading structures, we should adopt frequency and utility. That frequency means that how often a certain item or word is used in child's daily life. That is, we select those structures. Then simplicity, they should be simple. Simple to teach and simple to learn. Like I am playing cricket is very simple to teach. You can demonstrate in the class that I am playing cricket, I am writing on the board, I am reading a book. These are very simple sentences. But if I start with this, the patient had died before the doctor came, it's very difficult to teach. So start with simple sentences that are you can demonstrate in the class, that you can explain in the class, that is related to child's life. Then teachability. You know, there are certain structures that are very difficult to teach, and there are certain structures that are easy to teach. Again, I'm taking example, I am writing. It is easy to teach. You can show by writing on the board, by writing on the notebook that I am writing. They can get it that you are writing. But if I say that, if you take up like this, I would have done it before, that is difficult to teach. So first take that are easy to teach. Then gradation of structures. After the selection, teaching of all these, then you should grade the structures, like put them in order. So what are the this thing? Here the following are some of the patterns that should be taught at early stages. Number one is two-part patterns. First we take two-part patterns like I sang. Just two parts are here. Then three-part patterns. I sang a song. I have put one more pattern in this. First I give lot of practice in I sang. Then I'll add one more pattern. I said I sang a song. Then four pattern, I sang a song in the party. Then I have added this. Then five pattern, I sang a song in the party yesterday. So these are the sequence you can follow for the patterns, like two pattern, three pattern, four pattern, and you keep on adding like this only. Then patterns beginning with there. Then you can take up the patterns or structures beginning with there, like there are 20 students in the class. There is a tree outside the class. They are like this, and there are the negative forms. Then you can take up sentences that have negative forms, like he does not go, she did not play, like these. Then patterns beginning with the question verb. What a question verb? What, where, when, he, like this. Is she coming? Will he go? Like these of question verbs. So you can take up patterns like this. Then patterns with asking words. Asking words are how are you, what does he do, like this. And patterns of command and request. Then you can, in the end, you can teach them command and request. Like please come here, please sit down, please give me water, or commands like go away, shut the door, out of the class, don't get in, like these type of things you can take up. So procedure of teaching structures, this is all about the structures, how you select the structures for your class that we have done so far. Now procedure, how will you teach this? This is revision of the previous structures. What we have already done, you will revise those structures first before taking the new structure. Then presentation of the new structure. After revising the previous structure, you will take up a new structure. Then creating situations to teach the structure. Creating situations means how will you teach that? For example, I said Ram loves to read books. Then I have to create a situation. Then I'll ask who else want to read books, who loves to read books. Then I say he loves to read books. Then use of substitution tables. Any idea about substitution tables? कभी सुने हैं substitution tables? ये ना books के end में दिए होते हैं. You can make like, you know, there are 3 columns. and you can make it's written in the first he, in the middle column it is written is, and in the last column it is written playing, swimming, crying. Then you can make he is playing, he is swimming, he is crying. Like you can make as many sentences as you can with the substitution table with those words and those structures only. Then enhancing vocabulary, you can give more and more words. For example, you are teaching colors to them or you are teaching verbs to them. You can keep on adding those vocabulary items. And model reading of the lesson by the teacher. Then comes model reading of the lesson by the teacher. Then silent reading by the students, comprehension questions, loud reading by the students. Again, this is, you will to keep on doing this, following this procedure. Then comes techniques, oral work. Give lot of oral work to the students. Then drills. Drill means that keep on repeating but with the purpose. Something you ask them to repeat. For example, you have taught them a subject. What's your name? My name is Anita. Then I ask the student to ask the same question from your friend. What is your name? So you keep on repeating the same thing with the whole class so that they can have practice. These are called drills. And then use of situations. I've just explained, you can create situations in the class like switch on the fan. I want to teach a structure, switch on the fan. You will ask, okay, Yamini, go and switch on the fan. So she will follow the instructions, she will get up and switch on the fan, and then she'll come to know. Then I'll say, okay, Yamini, you go and ask Manohar Lal, go and switch on the fan. Then she'll say, okay, sir, go and switch on the fan. Then you can go to Bunting. So I'll keep on repeating this thing so that every student should get the opportunity to speak the structure and they will get familiarized with the structure. Okay? So this is basically structural approach. This is the substitution table I was talking about. Like it's that, it and which, and you have to use is. My, so this is a hat, this is my hat, this is your hat. So you can make so many sentences with the help of this. Like you can make 20 to 25 sentences. This type of practice you can give to the students. And merits of structural approach, it is practical approach. At least students can use those sentences that you teach them in the class. Like what's your name, where do you live? If you want to have water, you can ask for water. You can take daily life situation sentences that they can use in their daily life. Speech is emphasized, oral work is here. So it becomes a habit on the part of the students. It becomes habitual because oral work is too much there, drill is there, structures are taught in well-convinced situations. So structures become meaningful and easily learned. We always, like I have just given the example that switch on the fan. So this is the situation I have created in the class. Are you getting my point? I said, okay, you go and switch on the fan, but this is the situation. And I am applying this situation in the class so that you should get the meaning and should understand the sentence also in meaningful situations. So it is easily learned. Then you go home and you can easily ask your family members, go and switch on the fan. You get that structure easily, right? So these are merits. The child automatically learns grammar because he knows how to, which tense or which is used to which sentence or word. And then comes limitation. There are certain limitations or demerits of structural approach or drawbacks of structural approach. You know, it has limited application. If I have taught you, for example, 275 structures. So, you know, it has limited use. You need to create, you know, thousands and thousands of sentences in your life. But for beginners, it's okay. The structural approach overemphasizes oral work. They said there is too much focus on the oral work. Iska next demerit kya hai? So written work is neglected. It's only speaking is given importance, and the approach ignores reading also. Right? So this is all about your structural and situational approach. So now the next topic I'll take up with you, listening. You know, you have 2 chapters of listening in your blocks, that is your content that you get from IGNOU. So I'll discuss with you listening now, 2 chapters of listening in 1 slide. Fine? I hope it is clear with you, structural approach and situational teaching. Fine?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is listening. You know, listening is very, very important. That's why God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth. What does it mean? Listen more, speak less. Are you getting? We have got 2 ears, 2 कान है और 1 mouth है. तो इसका क्या मतलब है? You should listen twice as much as we speak. It's given by Epictetus. That is, listening skill is very, very important, that you should be a good listener. That is very important. But we are not good listeners. You know, you speak whatever you know. And we listen, we always know a new thing whenever we listen. And when we speak only what we know. So give more focus on listening than speaking. So what is listening? It is so listening is receiving language through the ears. That is obvious that we receive language through the ears. Listening involves identifying the sounds of speech and processing them into words and sentences. That you identify the sounds that I am speaking to you, you are getting it and you are processing it. That this is listening, and listening with understanding is an active process. If you are listening with understanding, whatever I am saying and you are listening, it is an active process. You need to be very attentive, and it involves the following arrangement. First, input is there. Input, that is I am speaking. This is input. And processing, you are processing it into your mind. What I am speaking, you are trying to understand it, and then output. And then if I'll ask you a question, you will answer my questions. That is your output. So listening as input, processing and output. तो सुनेंगे input है, that is process करेंगे, that is in your mind, you are trying to understand, comprehend it, and then when you speak the same thing or you answer, that is your output. So these are models of listening. One are like tape recorders. What are these? Like you have seen a receptionist on the counter. You just give the message and they produce the same message as it is to the boss. This is called tape recorders. They just record the thing and without applying any knowledge, without applying anything, without understanding, they reproduce the same thing to the boss. These are called tape recorders, but the other listener are construction workers. They are like the other model is construction worker. Here the model regards the listener as an active participant, a processor in the act of listening. This is an input, processing and output. आप सुनेंगे, उसको process करेंगे, you will try to comprehend कि क्या है और how can I use in my life, and then output model. So this is construction worker. The first one is like tape recorders. So this is the second type I'll explain. It has 2 types, bottom-up processing and top-down processing. So what is bottom-up processing? In this process, the listener demands solely on the incoming input to understand the message. They depend on the message they are getting. मैं आपसे बोल रही हूँ, you are getting some message out of it. तो आप क्या करें? First step क्या? You are trying to get the sound signals. Fine. What I'm speaking, you are trying to get the sounds of that. What I'm saying, that's why you know that what words I am speaking. Second is breaking up the stream of speech. You are trying to break up the stream of speech so that you should get the meaning out of it. First, you try to recognize the sounds. Second, breaking up the speech, that what I'm saying. And third is grammatical cues. Clues or cues, that is grammatical cues. What I'm saying, what is the grammar I'm using in here? And then we have, this is then after, in the last, we get the meaning out of what is we are getting as an input. And second is top-down processing. In this, the listeners rely on their background knowledge. Like I'm teaching you methods of teaching. So background knowledge is because you have already done some methods. So you know what are methods of teaching. So in top-down processing, they already depend on the background knowledge of the student, of themselves. Now comes, what's the difference between listening and hearing? Anybody who wants to answer, what's the difference between listening and hearing? आता है? I don't see only Mr. Manohar, और तो कोई नहीं दिखाई दे रहा. संदीप तो आते हैं और जाते हैं, संदीप बार बार. Hemant is writing, hearing is casual. Very good. Hearing is, Hemant ने जवाब दिया that hearing is casual. And what is listening? Listening is focused. Yes, listening is carefully or listening is focused. You know, right now you may be getting lot of sounds around you, like fan is running, or there may be some sounds in your house and you are not paying any attention to those sounds. This is called hearing. But you are listening to my lesson. It is, you are trying to concentrate on what I am speaking. That is called listening. So hearing is casual. We get to know birds are chirping outside. There are so many other things and we are hearing so many things, but we don't pay any heed. But in listening, we try to focus to get what the other man is speaking. Now comes need and importance of listening. So need, why do we need listening? Do you think that it is an important skill, listening? Yes, Sushant ji, ab baith jaiye. Sushant, why do we need listening? हमें ये skill क्यों चाहिए? Why do we need listening? सुनना क्यों जरूरी है? You can give answers in writing if you want to. There is a chat box here. Okay, so listening is needed and important in every aspect of life. To make more productive, good listening makes workers more productive. आप जितना ज़्यादा सुनेंगे उतना अच्छा आप बोलेंगे. That is the thing. If you keep on listening and you start speaking the same language that you listen to, or if you listen and get knowledge out of it, then process and receive the content. Yes, then you, whatever knowledge content you get, you can apply it in your life, so you become more productive. Just for pleasure, sometimes you listen to songs, you get pleasure out of it. That is also need and importance of listening. You watch movie, that is again for pleasure. To take part in conversation. Conversation, you can only take part if you listen. If I'm asking a question, if you're listening to me, then only you can answer. Otherwise, you can't answer. Then, for information, for example, you are standing on a railway station, on a bus stand, and you want to know the timings of your train. Whether it is delayed or whether it is on time, you have to listen. To get information, you have to listen. Then, to understand whatever the other person is, for communication, yes, then only you can communicate. Very good, Yamini. It is for communication, because if you listen, then only you can have communication with the other person. जब सुनोगे ही नहीं तो क्या बोलोगे? That is very important for conversation, for communication. Then to build rapport is to have relationship with the, to have some, like teacher and student rapport is there, students and students are there. So for that purpose, you also need to have listening. Then we have, it's again to answer the questions, you need to listen. I've just said, like for communication, to avoid misunderstandings. Sometimes you listen and you get some different meaning out of it, though the intention of the speaker is different. Then to clear that misunderstanding, you have to listen and then speak. Fine. Then for personal growth, that is very important. If you want to grow personally, you have to listen to good speakers, listen to news, listen to other things. So it is, listening skill is in fact very important skill. It's very, very important skill. So next we will do types of listeners. and you just identify yourself that what type of listener are you. बहुत तरह के listeners होते हैं हमारे पास. अभी भी जो मेरे पास students बैठे हैं, they are all different types of listeners. First is casual listening. This is the type of listening when we listen to someone or some input without any particular purpose. Casual listening. सुन रहे हैं आप, कोई purpose नहीं है, but you are just listening to it. Focused listening. The listening you are doing right now is focused listening. You want to get out, you want to know that what are the different methods of teaching, what is listening, how can we improve our listening, like this is focused listening. Then when you want to get some information out of it, then we have comprehensive or active listening, listening to understand the message of a speaker as when attend to a classroom lesson or listen to the directions for finding a friend's house. This is comprehensive. Comprehensive होता है समझने के लिए. When you try to understand something, you ask someone on the road of somebody's address and he say, okay, turn left, turn right, then go straight. You listen very carefully. That is called comprehensive listening. You try to understand कि इसने मुझे रास्ता कैसे बताया. That is there. That is called comprehensive listening. Then we have critical or analytical listening. What is this? Listening to evaluate a message for the purpose of accepting or rejecting it. This is analyze करते हो आप. जैसे for example दिया है यहाँ पे. If you go to the market to buy a commodity, कुछ खरीदने गए हो आप, so salesman will speak a lot about his or her product, and then you have to analyze whether is it worth buying or not. That is there. Okay? This is called critical or analytical listening. Whether you want to buy that thing or not. For example, you are getting so many offers. आपको traveling की बहुत offers आ रही हैं. Then you will analyze that which offer is the best. You listen to all the travel agents and then you come to the conclusion that which offer should I take. So that is called critical or analytical listening. Then appreciative listening. Listening for pleasure and enjoyment, like when you listen to music, entertainment, speech or comedy show. These are show nahi hai, this is show, sorry. Next is empathetic. Empathetic learning. Listener, sorry, empathetic क्या होता है? Empathetic? Any idea about it? एक होता है sympathy, एक होता है empathy. So what is empathy? किसी को आता है? Any? So empathy क्या होता है कि that is listening to provide emotional support. Empathy literally means when you put yourself in another situation. आपको ऐसे लगता है, आप इतने कंसर्न हो जाते हो कि आपको that you try to put yourself in other situation. For example, a beggar comes to your home. He asks for money. Then you feel that if I don't have money, to put in someone. Yes, that is Hemant. It's absolutely right to put someone on another situation. So empathetic listener, you listen and you have so much concern that you put yourself in another position and then you listen. Then comes relationship listening. What is relationship listening? It is we do all the time to maintain, to sustain our relationship. जो अपने दोस्तों के साथ बात करते हो, friends के साथ बात करते हो, that is relationship listening. To sustain or develop the relationship. Just for nothing, we just talk. We talk about weather, we ask about your kids, about your qualification, about your family. This is all relationship listening. We just try to develop relationship with the others. Then dialogic relationship. What is dialogic? When we want to have a dialogue, conversation. जब हमें किसी के साथ conversation करनी है, then we have this dialogic listening. We listen, then we reply to that answer, and we, continue our conversation on the basis of listening and speaking. Then I have sympathetic listening. Sympathetic listening is when you show some sympathy to the other person, show concern when we pay close attention and express our sorrow for their ills and happiness in their joys. For example, somebody is not happy, somebody is having problem, then you said, okay, how can I help you? This is sympathetic listening. You try to help that person out. Empathetic is when you put yourself in that position, but sympathy when you उसके ऊपर sympathy करते हो आप, that is how can I help you or like this, then that is sympathetic listening. So these are different types of listeners. Okay. Now comes barriers in listening. Any barriers you can tell me? You are listening to me. तो आपको क्या barriers, क्या obstacles, क्या आपको problems आ रही है that you are not concentrating on listening? बीच में मिस कर देते हो मेरा लेक्चर. Why? Give me some barriers. क्या हुआ आपके साथ जो आपने कुछ बात नहीं सुनी? अगर मैं अभी पूछती हूँ आपसे relationship listening क्या है, तो some of you will not be able to answer. Then what was the reason that you, why didn't you listen to me? क्या reason होते हैं? नहीं सुनते ना, कई बार मिस हो जाता है आपका. तो क्या बैरियर्स होते हैं ऐसे जिससे हम वी मिस आवर लिसनिंग? आप मूवी देख रहे हैं और आपने फ्रेंड से कहा pronunciation, yes, very good, that is pronunciation. Sometimes you are not able to understand the pronunciation of the other person, accent of the other person. Sometimes you watch movie, you're watching movie and then you suddenly ask your friend, यार क्या हुआ था इसमें? You just missed out something. So what are the reasons for all these things? One is pronunciation, that is very important, that you just do this thing. Then what else? Any other reason? You are not able to listen? Okay. No participation? Chaliye. Physiological barriers. Yes, unwanted sounds, yes. Physiological barriers. This is physiological barrier only. That is hearing, no sorry, this is physical barrier. Sorry, physiological barrier is, एक में लिखा है unwanted sounds and what else is there? एक और आया था, एक मैसेज और आया था मुझे. चलिए, any physiological barriers you are not well. You have some hearing problem in you, then you are not listening. Sometimes you are having fever, then you are not listening. You are not well, you are not listening. So this is physiological. Sometimes you are not able to listen. Sometimes your seat is not comfortable. Sometimes you are not sitting comfortably and you are getting backache. Then next is physical barrier. जो अभी किसी ने जवाब दिया है मुझे, physical barriers, that is like unwanted sounds in the room or some overheated room, some air conditions, ज़्यादा ठंड है, ज़्यादा गर्मी है, then you are not able to listen properly. These are physical barriers. Or some unwanted noise around the room. Fan चल रहे हैं, you are not able to listen. Communication gap is there. Is writing, Sandeep ने लिखा है communication gap. I am not able to reach to you. कहीं communication gap है. I am not able to understand whether you are following me or not. तो इसको communication gap कहते हैं. जब मुझे reason ही नहीं पता, I am speaking, but that is there. Then comes attitudinal barriers. What are attitudinal barriers? It is because of your attitude. Sometimes you don't listen. It is sometimes, you think that I have more knowledge than the speaker. मैं बोल रही हूँ, आपको लगता होगा अरे ये तो हमको पता है सब कुछ. This is called attitudinal barrier. You think yourself more smarter than the speaker, and you don't listen. And आप एक attitude बना लेते हो कि no, I know better than this speaker, then you don't listen. This is attitudinal barrier. Then we have wrong assumptions. Wrong assumptions means that is nobody is listening to me, or here both should be active participants, sender as well as the receiver. Wrong assumption means sometimes they think that he doesn't know that I am not listening, but it should not be there. Then we have cultural barriers. जो सबसे पहले accent की बात की है किसी ने, that is cultural barriers. Your accent is very different. Accent you have, sometimes you watch English movies, sometimes you are able to understand, sometimes you are not because of the accent. American accent is difficult to understand. Or a person coming from America starts giving you lecture, so that accent is there. Then gender barriers. Gender barriers में क्या होता है? Girls are more focused, like they just go with the emotions of the speaker. But boys, general studies हुई हैं इस पे, boys are more focused on the content. That is there. Then lack of training in listening, that we don't give in our schools. Lack of training is there. We don't give our students training in listening. Then bad listening habits. Bad listening habits, like they don't listen. They give fake attention. Sometimes they sit straight and they keep on nodding their head. Okay, I'm listening. This is bad listening habit. They don't listen, but they pretend to be a good listeners. Then we have common barriers in listening, other than different wandering attention. Your attention is somewhere else. You are thinking of something else, planning a reply. Sometimes you keep on planning a reply. Can I reply for this? Then you are not able to listen. Lack of interest in the topic. Being self-centered, avoiding what is difficult, that you are not getting, you avoid that thing, I'm not going to listen. Excessive note taking. Sometimes you write a lot, then you don't listen. So these are. Now comes ways to improve listening. How can we improve our listening? Number one is listening is a psychological process. It can therefore be improved by regular practice. So you try to give lot of practice, face the speaker and try to get whatever is there, maintain eye contact. You should look into the eyes of the speaker to get information, minimize external distractions. If there are any sound, anything outside, you should minimize those distractions, respond appropriately. Then you have minimize internal distractions, जो तुम्हारे अंदर चल रहा है कुछ उसको distractions को minimize करिए. इसके बारे में I'll think over it after this lecture. That is there. Focus only on you just focus on the speaker only. Keep an open mind. Don't be biased. Don't think that I know better than him or her. It's better. You should have an open mind. In every lecture you get something to learn. Avoid letting the speaker know how you handle a similar situation. Engage yourself. Then comes suggestive activities. Then we can play a lot of activities to train our students in listening. And this is, you can relay the message. We just give the message in somebody's ear, like the student. Yes. Sir, कुछ बोल रहे हैं?
कौन से जफर गाँव है क्या?
हाँ जी.
अच्छा. और
ये कोई और बोल रहे हैं पीछे से ना? हेलो.
दोनों ने नहीं कर रखा तलवाड़ा.
मैं हटा देता हूं मैम.
Then back to back interview you can have interviews with the students. Relay the message है कि आप एक बच्चे को देंगे, then they have to pass that message to the second, third student, fourth, and in the end you find that the message is totally gone and the meaning has come out something else. So that is listening practice. Back to back you can have interviews with the students. Then follow the directions. You give directions to the students in the class and ask them to follow. For example, I'll say, okay, I'll call the name of one student and I'll give the directions. You come on the board and write your name. That is, then they are more, I'll look at, okay, Sandeep, you answer me this question. You give me an activity that you can say. So giving instructions and then students will follow. There are a lot of activities for listening. You can take up from the net. It is in your books also. So you can do anything for listening to improve the listening of your students. So this is all about today's lecture. So now we'll meet next time. We have already covered, four chapters in these lessons. Methods we have done, aims and objectives of teaching English. Now 2 chapters of listening I have done with you. I hope you have got it. समझ आया?
Yes, ma'am.
कोई क्वेश्चन, कोई क्वेरीज?
मैसेज डाल रहे हैं, क्या करेंगे? बार-बार फोन थोड़ी किएगा.
क्या कह रहे हो? थैंक यू हेमंत जी, थैंक यू सो मच. आप कुछ कह रहे हैं मनोज जी? आप बार-बार सुनने की और कुछ कोई क्वेश्चन, कोई क्वेरी तो नहीं है आप लोगों की? आर यू ओके?
यस मैम. मैम एक बार स्क्रीन बंद कर देना प्रेजेंटेशन वाले.
स्क्रीन ओके सर. हाँ जी सर. हाँ जी, कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है किसी को?
यदि कोई विद्यार्थी कुछ पूछना चाहता है तो उसका स्वागत है.
Anybody wants to ask anything regarding pedagogy of English? Not
No,
only
ma'am.
from these chapters, also if you want to ask anything from other chapters, I can explain. Or any queries, any like assignments, anything you want to ask? No?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And thank you so much. Bye. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay home.